This is tutorial 186. In this tutorial, we'll talk about the next feature in the mold tools, the core feature. And we will see what is the core and why, and then we will perform an undercut analysis. And then again, we'll make a new mold for a new case. That will be also a good review for the previous steps, and then see how to make a core. The core simply is another side of the mold. As we said before, there are two parts of the mold, the core and cavity, and there is also a side core. And the purpose for it is to reach the areas that can be difficult to be made by the core and the cavity. For example, for this bucket, and if you see the handle over there, and you can imagine how we can extract from the mold. So that will be kind of impossible, and you need either to solve this issue or add a core to the mold or a side core. So first, let's go to our previous example, the mobile cover, and roll back to the previous steps before performing any parting line. And as you remember, we performed an undercut analysis for this mobile, and we picked the top plane as the direction of pull. And if you notice, we don't have any issues or red areas which represent any problem with the undercut faces. So for that reason, we will create another part and show you where we have an undercut issues that they need to be fixed or to create a core for it. So let me show you quickly with this pocket I have here, and we will create it later on this tutorial, but here I will show you an undercut analysis. For this part, pick the undercut analysis, and here is the direction of pull. You'll notice the red areas over there which represent the undercut faces which we need to fix in order to make this bucket producible with the injection molding. So click OK. One way to fix this issue is to eliminate these handles. For example, if we go to this undercut and suppress and run the undercut analysis, pick the direction of pull. Here we don't have any red areas, but we still need the handles. Click exit and unsuppress the handle. Also, one way is to create another cut or to expand the cut. Edit sketch, and for example, make it something like this, but we will still have undercut under there. If we go to undercut analysis, pick the direction of pull, you'll see you have under there, exit, normal to, and here you can make this point to be over there and give a dimension . And if we perform undercut analysis, here we solve this issue. So you have a view. So you have a view right now. What we mean with undercut analysis, they are the faces which are difficult to be extracted and which can be represented with red color with the undercut analysis. So now let's create this bucket to make a mold for it and then create a core to solve the handle issues. I'll start new part, go to the top plane and draw center point rectangle, give the dimension 200 by 400 millimeter, and fillet the corners with 40 millimeter, extrude it to 200 millimeter and give it a draft of 10 degrees angle, and here make a fillet of 20 millimeter and chill it for 20 millimeter. It might be thick, but I made it thick on purpose to make it clear in previewing the undercut areas. So now let's create the handle cuts. Pick the right plane, start a sketch, center point slot, and give it a dimension of 40 by 100 or 80. This point to the origin vertical, and here 35 millimeter, and extrude it cut from the both sides. So here we have our bucket, and now let's perform a draft or start again making a mold and review the previous options. Go to the mold tools menu, start with the draft analysis. The direction of pull is this face, and we have the minimum draft we need is 3 degrees, and here is fully green. So this face will have no problem to be extracted, but here we have still some issues under the handles. But the draft analysis for this part is okay. Now we need to perform undercut analysis. Is this face here? You will notice the red areas. So with the undercut analysis, we know that the handles now need to be fixed later on when we start creating a mold. So let's perform under a parting line analysis and pick this face. We don't see any preview, but we will see that later when we start creating a mold. So now let's make a parting line or insert a parting line. Click on the parting line, click on that face, and the minimum we said 3 degrees for the angle. Perform a draft. Here we have the green over there. Click OK, and there is no faces need to be split. We have our parting line. Then now the next step, the shot of surfaces. Click on shot of surfaces, the edges to be closed. Let's select them manually here. And here we can make show preview and make it all contact, and again select the edges of this handle, and here we have the green message over there. Click OK. Now the shot of surfaces are done. The next command, the parting surfaces, and here we'll keep the option perpendicular to pull, and here we can giving the parting surface distance of 300. Click OK. Now creating the core and cavity by tooling split. Select the surface. A sketch has been opened, and create the center point rectangle and give it a dimension 500 by 70, and here we give it 350 for the core and 200 for the cavity. Click OK, and here we have the mold. So until this step, you should be familiar with all the previous processes because we discussed them in the previous tutorials. Here we can expand the solid bodies folder and hide the core or the cavity of the mold. Which it is the upper side of the mold. So now we have the bucket is showing over there, and now time to create a core for the handle. Click on the core, and here it will ask you to select a plane where you need to create the core. So it is clear that we need to create a core for this handle. So we're going to select this face, and a sketch have been opened. Make it normal too, and now we will draw that have an angle so that the side core can be fixed in a place in the upper side of the block or on the core. Here I will select the line and draw this shape, center point, and here give it a dimension of 100, and here you can give it a dimension of 175, and this distance to this distance can make it 120, and here we can make a symmetric relation, and the side as you can see the upper line is on the edge of the bucket, and here we have the sketch is fully defined. Here we can add a fillet 10, and here as well. Click OK, and when you click OK, exit, you'll notice SolidWorks will automatically generate the side core, and you will see the sketch which we made is selected, and the direction it selected a face inside, but to be sure with the direction we select this edge, because you can imagine the side core will be dragged in that direction. And here for the core or the cavity, you need to specify from where the core will be extracted. So in this case will be the upper side of the mold or the cavity, which we hide it over there. We can here select, and the tooling or the upper side of the mold is selected, and here we can specify a draft and direction. We need to reverse the direction over there, so that is the direction, and here we need to give a dimensions for the extrusion. For the first direction, we need to make sure that the extrusion is exceeding the mold block, and for the other direction we need to make sure that it is meeting the part. We can make it, there is no need for end cap because the side will be matching the block. Click OK, and here we have the core is generated. So now we can show the upper side of the mold, And if you notice on the solid bodies, we have a core bodies folder. So the same core process can be repeated on the other handle. And for now, let's try to move the mold blocks. The core and the cavity, and then the side core. So here is the shape of the side core, which will be added to the mold in order to create this handle.